The trick to finding a common denominator is finding the least common multiple. When I list the multiples of 8 and 4, I find that the least common multiple is 8. So 8 can be my common denominator. When I find equal fractions to 7/8 and 1/4 that have a denominator of 8, I find that I get 7/8 and 2/8. The way I know that is because 8 times 1 is 8. Whatever I do on the bottom, I need to do on the top. 7 times 1 is 7. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. That's how I find my new fractions. Then I simply add my numerators. I don't add my denominators. That will be the same for adding and subtracting fractions. Just take a close look at 2b for a moment. When I find equivalent fractions with a common denominator of 24, I find that I cannot subtract the fractions 4 24ths minus 18 24ths. What I need to do in this kind of situation is borrow from the whole number. So I'll borrow from the 6 becomes a 5, and I'm going to be taking that one whole, and giving it to the 4 24ths. In order to do that, I need to write it as a fraction out of 24. 1 whole as a fraction of 24 is 24 24ths. Now, I need to make sure I add that to the 4 24ths that are already there. So, altogether, I end up with 5 and 28 24ths. Now, I can subtract those fractions, and I'll need to make sure that I also subtract my whole numbers. That will give me my answer. Finally, number 3. Tim plans to dig a trench that is 1 5/6 of a yard long. He measures his work and realizes he still has 1/3 of a yard to go. How much of the trench has he dug so far? So I know that he plans to dig a trench that is 1 5/6 yards long. I also know that he has 1/3 yard to go, and they're asking how much of the trench has he dug so far. I need to think about what operation will help me find the answer. Will I multiply? Will I add, subtract, or divide? To know the difference between how much he needs to dig in total and how much he has left to go, I need to subtract. So I'll set up my fractions, and just like I did earlier, I will find a common denominator and then subtract.